I surrendered my life to Him and was generous with what He had given me, it seemed like all along the journey, the doors continued to open for me, and there was more blessing. That wasn't necessarily for me, but it was for me to give back out and redistribute to those that He brought into my life. Your view of God determines how you will be generous. If you think God's cheap, you're going to be cheap. If you think that God is lacking resources, you're going to be stingy with the resources.
To take it live on
you
my
have.
account, I guess?
Yeah.
One of the greatest privileges of my life right now, to this point, has been pastoring this church. Simply for this point, and I say this specifically
So
for
the
this,
last time
is
that we
this
had
is the most
issues,
generous
remember?
group of people I've ever
Even
known.
when we did OBS, it would be bad.
Yes, you're right.
I'm talking about you.
Convention life.
I'm talking about us together. It's November 20-something. What is today? 21st? 24th? And this last week we had our board meeting and we're talking about the resources and things that God has blessed this house with. We were giving
Right,
an
so
update to
at
our
least
board.
that,
One of the
David,
greatest things that I was able to share with them
Starts to now
is not
indicate that
only
the
that
issue
700 people
I don't like
received
that.
Christ in this room
is Resi.
since January.
Right, we're even seeing here. 23 up, 5 down.
Then from that, over 100 people. In fact, next week is our baptism. Is it next week? Next week, over 35 people are getting baptized
Yeah,
right
'cause-
over here.
Right.
That's me there.
Over 100 people.
Yeah.
And on top of that, just outside of this house, we've given away over $400,000
I mean,
second service.
to our
We
community.
can call Resi
to
and
the-
right
to
now,
those
like,
around us and
let's
around the
stay.
world, and that's you. And I love coming to church
Right,
here
'cause at
because
this point,
I don't feel like I'm going
we
to
have a
church
parallel
that serves
stream.
a little weenie God.
And it's coming out, like, look at this.
I'm not
Yeah,
fearful of
that's
coming
what-
here because it's like, oh, we don't have enough, we're not going to make it, this poor is me thing. It's made God's poured His blessing out on us so much that we've continued.
Yep, I just got a
to
message.
give
Can you
and
plug in the
give.
AP
And
to this
guess what?
one?
He
It just
keeps
came through right now.
adding and adding. What is that? That's called trust. He trusts us with it. My generosity reveals the size of my God. Listen to Philippians chapter 4. Paul says you can be sure that God will take care of everything you need.
I just want to call you. Where's your number at?
Everything that you need. See, His generosity is exceeding even yours in the glory that pours from Jesus. I love that God will take care of everything. I was in a meeting a year or so ago, and we were going through some crazy stuff here as a church and trying to navigate some
Now, there's a lot in
difficult
there.
situations. And as a brand new pastor, my knees were knocking a little bit. I was freaking out, and I was relying on elders and
If you go to the
board
left,
and
main
overseers
help and
to
support,
help
yeah.
me navigate
Yeah.
some difficult conversations.
Requests.
And in the middle of it, the enemy was talking to me.
My request.
You ever
Yeah,
hear the
because you
devil
probably
talk
need to
you?
open a ticket or something.
You ever hear him talking to you?
I want to get their number to
I
call
think
him.
it's funny because we all hear him all the time, but we say, when was the last time God spoke to you?
You want to look in there? Oh, look at this.
It brings fear, it brings condemnation, it brings guilt. His voice is layered with all that. It's easy
First
for me
thing
to
is
stop.
customers.
And
I
in
think
the middle
everybody
of
has a
it, we're
search.
making some major
Oh,
decisions,
this is great.
and
Invalid page.
somehow it came in my heart to start to settle like, oh man, what if you wreck it all? Well, what if it all implodes?
Now look, Resi reached us by phone.
And the voice of the Lord came to me just quietly, not an hour, but just an inward peace. He said, you've been there before.
Yeah, because then
And
you
I
can
said,
even
what?
give
He
them
said,
that
you started
link
from scratch
on
before.
YouTube.
He took me back to different seasons of my life when Steph and I didn't have anything. And we didn't feel like we had anybody, and yet we pursued God's plan, and He continued to add and bless and bless. I want to say this to you. You can never exhaust the grace of God on your life. Well, if I gave it all away, what would I have? You'd have a great starting point to trust God again like you did in day one. Some of us are more confident in our savings accounts than we are in the supply of God's provision for our life. We're stockpiling because of a rainy day or a crazy future or this and that. I'm not against saving. I
While
think
you're
you should
looking
save.
this up.
But if your hope is in your savings and not in God being the supplier, man, things in your perspective are off about God. And here's what I'll tell you as someone who's come
Couldn't
from
we
nothing
get
Listen to me. You can start over 10 times and
times
you'll start it again.
to get the main
blessing will
feed
continue
and
to be
throw
poured
that
out as long
at
as
least
your
to
heart
YouTube.
is that to be generous.
I have to get a way of
I
ingesting
grew
it
up in
in.
a home where my parents taught us you can never outgive God.
So I got to get a unit that gives me
It
an
was
input in.
common cliche in our house. So should we
These
give
are all
this?
like
Should we not give it? And my dad would
outputs.
say, let's give it.
So I have
We
to
can
find
never
out if I
outgive
have what
him.
they
Every
call
time
a
we've given it
Black
all
Manid
away, he shows up and blesses it again.
mini monitor.
Time and time again in Steph and I's life,
Thank you for calling
the
Residence.
12 years we've been married, we came
Yeah,
to a
Trevor,
place
I'm
like we
here
are in the same season we're at right now,
with
where
All
God is
People's a
impressing
church
on
that
us
I'm actually with.
something to do.
My streaming has been
Something's
acting up for a while
impressing
now,
us
and
to
I think
give,
I've
it's a huge
troubleshooted to the
stretch.
actual encoder.
In just a few weeks, I'll talk
I
about
just
our
wanna see.
year-end giving, and I've asked you to pray and ask you
Well,
to
I've done
give.
multiple
We've
things. I've
talked
checked the
about it, we've
internet.
prayed about it, and the
I've
number
ran
he
different
asked us to
cables.
give
I've
us-
switched different ports.
Well, I wanna give.
And actually, right now, what I'm doing is I'm actually streaming from a different, just OBS off of my computer, and it seems to be having an excellent connection. But in my Resi and in studio, I'm having a lot of warnings as far as encoders falling behind.
But an open hand.
And I'm trying to figure it out.
Here's what I know, God blesses open hands. When we're generous with what He's given us and we release that which He asked us to, guess what? Now you're in a position to receive the next blessing, the greater outpouring, and guess what? It just becomes a cycle of blessing.
Gotcha.
I've never given and showed back up weeks, months
We're in
later,
all,
years later,
North
I'm like,
Reading,
"Man, I wish I
Massachusetts."
wasn't given that seed. I wish I had that money back. I wish I had that time back.
Yep, thank
I
you.
wish I had that energy back. Every time I've been generous, God's multiplied it. Because that's who He is. He's the supplier of all things. The only reason we would hoard or hold things would be because we would think that we would never get them back again. Because we think that we would
Gotcha.
never have them back again.
Mm-hmm. I understand there.
Here's what I want to know. If you're willing to release what you have, you'll bring what you need for that next season. Lastly, generosity changes
No, that's really low.
the outcome of our story. Generosity exposes and shows our heart. Generosity gives us the ability to reveal the size of our God. But lastly, generosity changes the outcome of
Gotcha, for sure.
my story.
Okay, if it comes down the units
and
needs
the
to be replaced, is that
stories
something
of
that's
those
like
around
I
us.
have to pay for? Is that in the warranty? What does that look like on my
2010,
account,
was
I guess, and
in
what
a
I
tough
have?
spot.
Coming to life.
Stephanie and I were not married.
Okay.
She just moved to California. I was coming out of a pretty deep depression, fearful of people, fearful of being manipulated by spiritual leaders in my life. I was just in a funk. I was just in this bad spot, and yet my heart was to do right. and
Sure, it was
serve
probably
God.
before my time, so I would think that would be right.
Living at the beach, trying to plant a church there, and looking back now, it was
Okay.
more my effort than it was His calling. What I wanted to do, because I had planned on doing that, and through a turn of events and some relationships dissolving, I found myself in a place where I didn't know who to talk to. Steph and I decided
Gotcha.
we're gonna
And
go
you're
visit
saying the
church,
speed test
and
you're
visit
seeing
this
off of the
church.
Resi is what again? Point what?
The first Sunday we were there, it was like, this is our church. It's where we're supposed to be.
0.9
We met a
megabits
pastor named Jerry
going
Martin,
up
him and his wife Ann.
from the Resi unit itself.
We met them
So
on
you're
Sunday,
saying right
just
now
about
I need to
me,
take
me,
it
you
to a
at the
different
back
location,
door.
get it all with a different
Hey,
switch,
how you doing?
and
I just
see if
said,
it
my
follows
name's
along
Josh,
that
and
route.
This is my girlfriend Stephanie, and we want to know if we could come and just be a part of what you're doing here. We're in a tough spot, more me than her. I could use a friend, I could use a pastor. And he said, give me your number.
Okay, because what I've also checked is off a computer that's connected to the same exact switch. I'm getting way better speeds than that.
Sunday night, that evening, he texted me, Josh, great to meet you. Want to play golf this week? Like, there's a bear poop in the woods? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to play golf with you. Yes.
Got you.
We got on the golf course, and
Just take it to a
he
different
didn't
spot.
over-spiritualize
Yeah.
anything. He was just a normal guy. It wasn't
I got you.
pastor, it was
Okay,
just-
so let me make that test happen,
We played 18
and then I
holes
guess
of
I'll give you
golf,
guys a call
just having
back. Is there some kind of
discussion about
ticket I
life
can refer to, or a number I can refer to, or just
seasons and
it's there and I can
God's
call back?
plan in his hand, and at the end of that golf, he said, man, I had a great time. You want to have coffee next week? I said, I'd love to
Perfect.
have coffee with you. I know you're busy, a big church. I'd love to have
No worries,
coffee
but
with
if
you.
it's
He
under
said,
that
"Let's have
account, then
coffee."
we
had
should be able
coffee,
to
and
reference that, correct?
From there, he said, hey,
All right. What was your name
get
again?
our significant
Trevor.
others, would
Thank
you
you,
wanna
man, and
get
I'll
your
see if
girl?
I can
We
make
wanna
that happen.
accommodate me and my wife and you guys, and
Appreciate it.
I was flabbergasted. Like, man, we've only been here a couple of weeks. I've already got to play golf.
He's saying take it to a different switch so we can bypass the thought of it's something with that switch.
And the Lord reminded me.
You know what it is? I gotta like confirm that before, you know.
No,
He's gonna help you.
I know the system.
You know, it is like, gotta confirm before I
And over the next few weeks, I began to open my heart and talk about the challenges and struggles that I was having in my life. The fear that I was facing and thinking about getting married to this young lady and just all the stuff, just my whole world spinning. It seemed like it slowed down when I was with Gary. It wasn't so insurmountable. It was a few weeks later that they invited Stephanie to move in their home and live with them for a year as we got prepared to get married. And through that season, I spent time with Gary almost every week, and that went on for about a year of counseling and just kind of getting healthy again, getting my mind reset, getting my heart reset, getting my priorities, my ego, and my passion, my drive all aligned with what God had for me. And that next year, Stephanie and I got married. They performed our wedding under a tree in San Diego. We stayed in that church for 2 more years. I didn't preach, I didn't teach, I didn't do anything. I just came and sat and let the water of the washing of the word cleanse my heart. I tell you that story because he didn't have to be nice to me. Pastor Gary didn't know me from Adam, but he put his schedule aside and said, here's a young man that needs my help. I'm going to be generous with my time. Steph would tell you, and God, the honest truth, we had no money. So when they would invite us to dinner, I was freaking out because I didn't have enough money to pay for the valet at the restaurant they invited us to. And every single time he said, hold on, dude, when we invite you to dinner, we're taking care of it. He blessed us over and over financially. Gave me time. Gave me energy, took his calling and allowed me to press into it. Pastor Gary changed my life. His generosity, in a moment of desperation, changed my story. You and I have the same opportunity every day of our life. Are we going to be head down, grinding towards our goal? Or will we look up and see there's a whole lot of people around us that need something from us? And his name is Jesus. And through that Jesus, they get the hope that they need, the healing that they desire, and maybe their story has changed a little bit enough to realize that they've been blessed and now they need to pass it on. This story started in 2010. Here we are in 2024, and Steph and I are now ever grateful for the Martins. Their generosity changed my story. It set my marriage up for the win. It set me up to trust God again and trust people again. 14 years later, we're pastoring this amazing church, which I pray is blessing you. I want to say this, you and I would have never met without a Gary Martin. You and I would never have this interaction. We wouldn't be worshiping together. We wouldn't be on this trajectory to impact Greater Boston and New England as a team had a man in Southern California not been generous. I'm sure there's plenty of people that go to Temple University and go to Good Samaritan Hospital, get health care and education, yet they don't know that it started with a young lady whose heart was aligned with God's heart, simply to allow children to come to church and have a seat. And it morphed and grew into an extraordinary display of God's goodness through the generosity of his people. Let me ask you this. What would be possible if you and I, together, in 2 weeks, we brought our best and did what he asked us to do? Whose family could be impacted? Whose kid would have room? Whose marriage would be saved? Whose mind could be restored?
All right, so
And whose purpose could be reset through the simple act of you and I collectively being obedient to be generous in this season as we close. this
Gentlemen
year.
on standby.
Maybe you've never considered that. Your generosity has potential.
How do you look at the speed
Change
test coming into the year? Like, how is he able to see that and me not? You know what I mean?
You
Like,
came
Oh,
into
but I
the
think they have
meeting,
like
got
a-
an envelope
yeah,
that
like
says
then why
Good
can't I?
access
You know what I mean? Like, why can't I do that?
Inside there's a
Stand
card
by.
in here.
Literally, when
I'm
I
asking you to
unplugged
take
that,
the card
the
home
black
and pray
one,
over
which
it.
is the redundant one,
With 2 more weeks and
it started working.
we're gonna do something that we've done for the last 2 years. We're gonna have a year-end giving offering.
05 was the last
We'll make this clear, this is not your tithe.
No, but the thing for me was the watch,
Your
like
tithe is your
immediately.
first
Yeah, you can
fruits,
see
so
it right away,
first
right?
10% of your income, you return that to God on your own.
Mhm.
I pray you're a tither. It's not about this church, you're not giving to this church, you're honoring a command of the Lord when you tithe. Your offering is what you ask Him out of your overflow. The Bible says, let a man
He said,
purpose
"Good luck."
in his heart. Not
Oh, yeah,
with any
thanks.
twisting, not with any pressure, we're a no pressure church, but I will ask you,
Well, this one is still,
ask Him what you should do, and there's a
Automatic,
couple of
but I
boxes
think
you
it's
can
because
check.
it's
The first one
probably
says,
slowly uploading.
number one, I'm just committing to pray in 2025 for this church. If that's all you can offer, we'll take it, I'll take it.
Oh, I know. This was saying not found
My
earlier.
wife will take your
I sent them a
prayers.
message, and
oh, and they,
I'm wondering if they
Second one is
saw
I
it and
commit
fixed
to
it.
tithe.
yeah, you were saying now, something consistent
I
with.
started to preach a
our
message on this,
understanding.
but I felt like it would
Gotcha.
guilt people, and I don't
Although
want to do
this is
that.
also
I
in
do wanna
parallel
release
with
it.
yours, which is still excellent.
Yeah, it's still
You
excellent.
can't be generous if you're not a tither.
Oh, look.
Generosity
Green News,
is
our team was
over
able to
and
resolve
above
the
what
issue you were
belongs to God.
experiencing. You should be able to see the result of the fix
Malachi
on our
makes
side
it
of
very
things.
clear, you can't steal from God what
We're
doesn't
sorry for the
belong to
inconvenience. We
you.
appreciate your patience.
The Bible makes it very clear that it's
Right,
He
so
that
as
gives
is,
us the ability to
if
gain
the
wealth.
issue with Resi
That's through your brains, your
is
education,
just the
your hard work, again,
replication
it all comes from
causing
Him.
problem with them,
We honor
that's
Him
fine.
back with our tithe.
I can deal with not having
Yeah.
redundancy if
On
it's
top
gonna
of
work.
that is our seed.
The
What are we
NDI
planting for the
thing,
future? What are we giving out of our
at least
generosity
as
to
of
help
this
others?
moment,
I'm asking your
like my only
families to
clear
pray about
indication would be
tithing in
let's try to
2025.
segregate everything.
As we get ready to expand
And I don't mind
and do
doing that.
more,
And then
our
we separate a
collective
port
resources
essentially that can
speed
receive
division up.
internet or something like that.
Asking you to consider tithing.
It would be.
The other one is-
how would we do this?
I'm bringing my best gift.
Yeah, because then,
In 2
as
weeks,
long
we're
as
gonna
we're
have
not
a
trying to
different kind of
do
service. We're
a
of worship, we're gonna
networking
prayer,
thing
but
between
not really gonna
Unify
preach a
and
message. I wanna
AV,
share a
we
couple
should be
testimonies
good.
of God's
Okay,
goodness.
so if that switch is connected to
Some lives that have
the
been
port
changed in
as it
this
was
house
before,
for
it's
your
connected to switch
generosity.
one. It's just going
I'll
out,
give you
it's just
a sneak
internet.
peek into
Okay.
what 2025 has.
We shouldn't see any NDI
And we're
issues
gonna
because
bring
all
our
the
offerings
NDI related
together.
equipments are gonna be
Some of you give
hardwired
digitally,
there.
I'm okay with that. I'm gonna ask
Yeah, 'cause they're
you
not
that
going through
Sunday
Ubiquity.
you don't do
You're
that.
not gonna be going through Ubiquity.
There's something about you and your spouse.
However,
you and
probably
your
for
kids.
this to happen, we're gonna
Your
have to
single
have,
person, you and
as
the
we
Holy
mentioned, the
Spirit come
two
down
ports,
and
right? One that's gonna come
sow
in
your
with
seed
VLAN
in
11
person, pray
to
over
dot
it.
8,
Mm-hmm.
and then we plug another one that
Bible
goes
says
into
you
the
bring
first
it to the house
floor
floor,
switch,
and again, I'm all about technology. Steph and I
for
get online. That's how we give.
whatever,
Yeah.
dot,
But on this day,
whatever
I'm
the other
gonna
one is.
check
that we
Dot
wanna do.
8, I think it
with
is.
some cash, and I put it
That's what
off.
we're talking up here, but I guess it doesn't matter at that point.
It
We'll
doesn't
switch-
matter,
yeah.
right? Cause if these device, if these computers,
Bow your heads.
Gentlemen on standby.
well, I'm still, I mean, I'm honestly still not that I
We're
don't
talking
trust
about
it.
generosity.
I wanna follow what happens because
has to
NDI shouldn't be
stem-
flickering anymore. Oh, okay, but
And
it's
point
because
back to
we're
the
already,
love of God for us.
it's a
as
dumb
people.
switch.
Yeah, we're on the dummy switches right now.
You and I don't have the ability.
We have an
in our
hour, right? How
natural
long
sense
do we
to
have
be
between
generous.
first and second?
Till 11
We're
o'clock,
born into
whenever
a
he's done.
corrupted world with a corrupted spirit
I would like to try to put that back.
Okay.
under the
Just
curse
to
of
see
sin.
if-
This whole Resi thing is part of
In
it?
our lives, many of
I,
us
no, I
have
think
been
Resi's gonna be fine.
regenerated
I
through
think
Christ
Resi,
Jesus and what
we,
he's done
remember
for
we've
us.
always had the issues where
Mhm.
We accepted
Resi
forgiveness for our
pops up
sins, and
as,
we've been
I even have a
guaranteed
specific,
right
Yeah,
standing
remember because
with him
we
right
had this
I have
issue
a
before, we were
rogue
like,
Resi here,
yeah,
which
where it
makes
was
no
like creating
sense.
this weird
Turn our hope
IP
and
Yeah.
live with it.
thing happening where there's almost like the same IP address almost. It was
Exactly
freaking
right.
out.
so,
God
we don't touch
was
Resi because
generous
maybe this
to give his
resolved Resi.
son, so
right?
that you and I could be redeemed.
The test now is
That word redeemed doesn't need to be weird,
NDI
it just means bought back.
with the configuration that we
Christ
did,
paid for.
whereas now it's just NDI. The
I'm here to tell you
expectation
this
is that
morning,
it should have been
sins have paid
flawless.
for. Jesus Christ came as God's son.
Right, the only issue
As a
that we
generous
had was
offering
just
for
APs
mankind
were
to
down because
reunite
of
with
the
God
NDI
the Father.
change.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you the
So-
opportunity to receive that generosity today.
So that's kind of where I want to drive this second service test, is we set things back up as NDI and see if NDI is now flawless. Because if it
If you're
is,
here today and you
the
need
solution
Jesus
is we
Christ in
actually
your
don't
life,
touch there. The three
You wanna make that
APs
change right
we
now.
hardwire
Would you
into the
just put
first
your
floor
hand up?
switch, and that would
All
be it.
across this room, if that's you, I see
Everything
you
else
right
would stay as is.
Yes, ma'am.
So plug internet back into the AV switch off of the first floor switch, and connect everything back in the system the way
Back
it
in the
was.
system the way it was, as a test. If 5 minutes in we have issues, we undo it, and then we know what we need to do this weekend, or this week.
Anybody else who say, Pastor, include me in that, I'm not gonna do it, I won't make you
But at
feel
least,
bad.
but I mean,
Send you to a back room.
this is clearly
Literally just wanna
I mean,
pray with you.
Yeah, that I think we resolved that.
I need
But-
that hope
You have no internet here?
No.
no,
What are you
that
trying to
one
do?
goes-
The music.
Yeah, I can do it from here.
Look at me. Half
Um,
dozen, maybe a dozen people said, I wanna meet Jesus today, would you pray with us?
You can turn on the
All
Wi-Fi
across
if you
this
need
room,
internet
whether you
though,
raise your hand
but
or
you don't
just
shouldn't need
have
internet.
your heart, say, Dear Heavenly Father,
It won't
I
mess
thank you
that
for
up
Jesus.
because it's
The
hardwired.
thing
I
is,
believe
I'm still not confident in Resi at all, right?
he's your gift to me.
Confident with what?
Yeah, we're not gonna have issues next week.
With Resi?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Shed his blood,
cause I think we're at that,
pay for
that
my sins.
thin line that's just like
That
remnant.
what separated me from you. Today,
Alright, so I need to go.
I mean,
down-
we can run Resi like that with one for a while to see if it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
hits or
align my
not.
heart with yours.
I'm still concerned because of our speeds are still lower than they need to be, even though they're fast enough to get the stream out. But we're not getting the speeds that we should be getting up and out.
Everybody said,
No, but this,
amen. Would you
We're
celebrate
just seeing
with
the
all
real
those that
time
prayed that prayer
thing.
today?
the fact that it's 5 is just because we're not, we're sending encoded,
Pastor Josh, why don't you go ahead and stand with
1080p.
me?
and that kinda
At the end of
matches.
the service, our prayer team will be up front. We have a group of people.
This is just a snapshot.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that we're not even getting our true 1,000, right? We never really got even close to 1,000 when we try our speed test.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so I mean, that's a whole other problem in
That's-
itself.
Yeah, that, but
We
that.
have it fast
That
enough.
I think that's Verizon.
Yeah, that's what we have to have that resolved.
But even when you ran it here, you were getting 400 plus.
Yes, the last, well,
yeah.
download, but look at the
Maybe you
upload.
don't wanna come up.
But again, it's just a snapshot.
You can fill that out and throw it in one of the,
Right, we're doing here in parallel now. I'm doing 130
Not the
with
trash barrels, the black offering boxes.
160.
You can put it in there and we'll be sure to get that out in the mail to you. And also, next week, like Pastor Josh said, we have over 30 people getting
But most importantly,
baptized.
right, we're seeing that it's not affecting.
And
Yeah,
if
so
you've
like-
not been water baptized, you can
Like,
still
that's
register.
just-
This
I mean,
is your
yeah.
next step. So please, you
That's
can go
coming
to
off of this
our
switch,
info desk,
which
you
you're
can
connected
go
to Wi-Fi,
online,
so it could be
our
going a little
church
different depending on what AP you're selected to.
register and we'll get-
But off of this switch, this is what I'm getting.
About the service and all of that, but we're excited to see at least
Yeah, but again,
30 people giving
I would be
their life,
worried if 5 of
showing
us just had to,
their-
like-
Their excitement, amen? And also, on your way
Like, look at
out,
that. I mean, that's not, I think it's because I'm seeing it from here.
Oh, because you see,
they're at the
yeah.
info desk. If you need them, you can go right to the desk in the lobby, grab as many as you want.
Let's just
Don't
check.
go
I mean, that's just because I think the internet right now off of this switch is really bad.
Give them, put it in somebody's hand, all right? And we're gonna have a great time, 3 services, on that
I'm wondering if this
Sunday,
aggregator is being
December 22nd.
overloaded.
We're gonna have a great time. And with that, we hope you have an incredible Thanksgiving. Let me pray a quick
And everything's gonna
prayer.
settle as soon as he
Father
hits
God,
amen.
I thank you for all of these beautiful people here. Father, I pray that they will have an amazing week, a wonderful Thanksgiving where they can remember what it is that you have done for them and what you
Yeah,
want
this
to
is
do.
having problems connecting to the server
Lord,
now.
I pray
Like
that
internet
as they
off
leave,
of
they
here
are
is
protected, they are covered, they are
struggling
experiencing your highest and best. We love you in Jesus' name. Everybody said amen. We love you and you're dismissed.
Well, you're streaming via Wi-Fi, aren't you?
Yeah, I am streaming via Wi-Fi. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's
Hey guys, everybody, thank you.
like this is flying on Wi-Fi, bro.
Video studio aggregator says off clientele.
So 20 was the last hit. 15, 14, 13. The other music's still playing. There it goes. Yeah, like it's thinking again. It's hit me some log files from 15. So last one was at 16, then 15, then 14. So like that internet slowed down hard.
People
Yeah.
start to see like both Video Studio Switch and Video Studio Aggregator.
That's cool. Good. That's good. Yeah, you have it. If you have another speaker like mine, don't do it. But if you're steady and complete, just 2 times and
That's awesome. I just learned something from Roy, man.
My mistake last time was I was learning. Media player 1. If you double click, it's rotating shift and then it puts it up there.
Yeah.
So you got a quicker workaround?
Yes.
By accident.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I just learned from him, huh? That's awesome.
Student has become the teacher.
Yeah.
My mistakes are helping.
Yes.
I created shortcuts.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a break.
Get a break.
And then-
This time we remember to do record.
Yeah. Oh, let's stop now.
Oh, you started?
Stop.
Yeah, I started.
Oh,
I
it's
started
not-
halfway through.
Stretch. Stretch.
Good?
Yeah, good.
Okay, it's back. Okay.
He's got my keys. Sign.
I'm gonna go pick up Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you will be setting things back in so
I'm
we
gonna
can
turn
do
things
NDI
back on.
test.
Yes, like the access.
But if the NDI test at least resolves itself,
Let me connect them back here first. I can't blame it on Alicia twice. So last week was on Alicia. Who's this week?
I mean, there's 2 services, right?
Oh, that's true. Let's watch everything freak out. Hey, Boogs. Ha ha ha.